Hi, my name's Stephen Walker, and today I'm going to be talking to you about employee engagement ideas to raise productivity. If your employees are engaged in what they're doing, engaged in your business, engaged in your organisation, then they are going to be giving voluntary effort. And that voluntary effort automatically appears as greater productivity. It's as simple as that. But how do you do that? Well, the classic way is continuous improvement. That's where you get your employees to improve the processes that they're doing. So rather than getting them to work harder, you get them to do less to achieve the same result. Do less to achieve the same result. That's continuous improvement. If you keep doing that, absolutely astonishing increases in productivity do result. And not only that, but if you do the continuous improvement process properly, then people are so much more engaged in their work because they are the ones that are generating the ideas, doing the experiments to find out how to improve the process. Now, when I say doing the experiments, I can hear a number of your hearts fluttering. So let me just say that, of course, in any organisation, there are a number of processes that are absolutely inviolate. They have to be done. The stuff has to work, it has to meet this standard, it has to be this, has to be that. Of course, you can't change those. But that will still leave 80–90% of the processes that can be changed. And they're the ones that you want people to research, to experiment with, to try to make better. Now, the whole thing about doing a zillion small experiments is that if one of them fails, it doesn't ruin the whole ship. So long as you make sure that people fail fast and then stop doing it. Go back to the old ways if their experiment didn't work. You don't want people to think, I invented this, so it must be better. It needs to be fail fast. That's the most important thing. Now, you may think, as somebody once told to me who owned a business, that my people aren't allowed to make mistakes. They're not allowed to fail. Well, I can tell you, if you get in good employee engagement, good continuous improvement processes, your rapid increase in productivity will completely blow out of the water any fears that you might have on losing a few minutes from an experiment being a failure. You won't even notice. You will have so much more time to do these experiments. But it's very, very important that these experiments come from the bottom up, not from the top down. I've seen far too many businesses fail because they thought they were doing continuous improvement and employee engagement by some director or other calling the people into his office and tell them what they were going to work on today. That is not continuous improvement, that is not employee engagement, that is just playing at it. So, ideas as to how to get employee engagement to raise productivity. Well, there's lots of those, and that will be the subject of my next video. Stephen Walker, Motivation Matters, creating environments where people give their best work.